this is the Planet Earth here. I wanted to talk about mental illness. I am using my GoPro Hero 3 Plus camera, Black Edition. It's not much of a difference, but it is $400. Now, if you're going to watch this video, I must warn you that this is about my life and how I became to be how I am today. I'm going to tell you some straight up facts. I am a compulsive liar, but I only lie when it warrants lying. I make excuses a lot. I am not able to concentrate properly. I am not able to think clearly because of the medications that I am on, which is currently benzodiazepine. I have been taking them for years, and because I've been taking them for years, I have not been able to think clearly. And right now, the reason why my eyes are shut is because I'm very tired, and the warm water is keeping me calm. But for some reason, I'm smarter when I'm tired. That doesn't make no sense, but it's true. Okay, now, how did I come to become a compulsive liar, generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder? Sometimes I scream when I wake up, and I have not been able to wake up refreshed in over 7 years. Alright, so here's what happened. I started having mental problems in 2007. I was suicidal, and I was jumping off. I jumped off a 3-story balcony. I didn't want to, but I did anyways. It was like a compulsion, like a forced compulsion. Like I wanted to do it, but I didn't know why, but I wanted to do it. It started one day after taking a medication called Depakote, and a side effect of Depakote made me very suicidal. I've taken it a couple years ago. It didn't make me suicidal that time, but for some reason, the first time it did, I stopped taking all medications except for Ativan, and so far I'm surviving. Now, if you want to know why I am mentally fucked up in the brain at times, it's because of the simple fact that I have taken all these medications. They fried my brain, and there's nothing I can do about it. In 2007, I had my first suicidal attack. I wanted to jump off the 3-story balcony, and I did. Landed in the bushes. Police were called, handcuffed me. They took me to a local ER room. The ER room transferred me to a mental hospital called Southwest Mental in Northwest San Antonio, Texas. From there, they gave me a medication called Seroquel. I got a rapid heart rate. It was really high. It was okay, but it was really high. They said you're having a panic attack. I said, how am I having a panic attack? I'm 16 years old, or 15, 14, 13 years old. I remember saying that. It was 6 years, 7 years ago. 20, 18, 17, 16 years old. That sounds about right. I was 16 years old when this happened. This is my first breakout of mental illness. I was hallucinating. I was delusional on the medications when I got off of them. I told them to stop forcing me to take these medications. My dad kept signing the papers. They kept forcing them on me. I said, Dad, tell them not to give me any medications. He says, why? The medications seem to be working. I said, no, Dad. They're making me see and hear things that are not there. And he said, fine, I will reject all of them. So, back in 2007, I could not stop panicking, and I was suicidal, impulsive, wanting to take the bed sheets and hang myself. I was doing everything I could possibly do to try to hurt myself, but I didn't know why. So what ended up happening is I got angry because they would not let me out to go see outside, and there's only one window to see outside, so I got crazy. I started bashing against a big gigantic plexiglass door. I don't know, it was some kind of strong glass, but I was able to break it after hitting it about 50 times. They charged us $250 to fix the door. We paid it. I felt bad. Dad had to pay it, of course, but I did feel bad about doing that later. But I was on medications and didn't really know what I was doing. I told him, I'm gonna break it. Can you please stop me? And the guy just kept looking at the newspaper, and I said, I'm gonna break it open. And as I was banging it, he's just like, who cares? Bam! All the glass shatters. Oh my God! They run after me. I hide behind the door and I'm laughing. Finally got some comedy out of it. And they're running all over, looking all over the place, and I'm just sitting right there, right behind the door. Anyways, 2007 went by, nothing but suicidal ideation. 2008, suicidal ideation. 2009, suicidal ideation. 2010, suicidal ideation. Until about February of 2010. All those years, even though I seemed to may have acted normal, I still wanted to kill myself. And I had plans, I never did it, but I wanted to, and I didn't know why. I was crying to myself, why Ben, why Ben? Why do you feel this way? Then I stopped taking the medication because I ran out of prescriptions and the doctors were changed. Over a course of a 2-month period, I didn't have any medications. That's when it stopped. That's when it stopped. Suicidal ideation thoughts just disappeared. I started to regain my inner control. I stopped thinking about suicide. After that, I told myself, I don't care what I do in my life, I will not take these medications again. So, I told the new doctor, I won't take any more medications after trying all these antidepressants, all these antipsychotics, all of these beta blockers for anxiety. Oh my God, my blood pressure was so low I could barely stand. They were giving me a strong not propanol, it was atenolol, 100 milligrams, Jesus Christ. And my blood pressure was low as hell, especially after drinking water, and it was like 90 over 70, and I was just really like faintish all the time. It was like I couldn't move, plus taking antidepressants at the same time, passing out on the bus. I literally was passing out on the damn bus. I was like, on the bus. That's how low my blood pressure got, especially when standing. Anyways, after all of that, I stopped taking all these medications, and I was taking almost 5 pills at one time. Abilify almost killed me. It was a high dose though, but it still almost killed me. Unfortunately, I stopped taking all the medications. I started to feel great. I started to somewhat feel normal again, but then I still had a rebound. Anxiety. This is when the anxiety kicked in. This is when panic attacks started. It was after stopping these pharmaceutical medications. I called 911. I'm telling them I think I'm having either cardiac problems. I didn't really know at the time what a hypochondriac was. I didn't care about my own health at the time, like mentally. Like I wasn't continuously hypochondriacating. That doesn't make no sense, but that's a word that I'm creating. Put that in the Webster's dictionary, bitch. I was hypochondriacating after 2009 because of my dad's heart attack. But it really didn't hit me until I started having panic attacks in 2007. But I didn't know what they were. I thought it was just a natural phenomenon of going to be an adult. As weird as that sounds. And I just knew that it wasn't. I started looking up symptoms and looking up, why am I having a rapid heart rate and sweating? Panic attack. Millions of pages of panic attacks on the stupid Google. And yeah. So I started looking it up, and I started realizing that most of my symptoms, no chest pain, and no shortness of breath, no fainting, just weird feeling out of this place, out of this world. Panic attacks. I called 911. I tell them I think I might be dying. They come over there, they check my pulse, it's like 190, and my blood pressure was like 190 over 110. It wasn't that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't too bad. It's still high though as hell, but not 300 over 300. I couldn't imagine blood pressure that high. So they take me to the ER room because they're very concerned. This is the very first time I actually called paramedics. And then it just rebounded. They didn't do nothing for me at the first time at the hospital. Next day, I was able to calm down, and I don't know what it was. I was like, okay, it's gone. sudden it hits me again the next day. I'm like, and it's worse. This time it's 3 times worse. And it was very clearly. I feel like I'm passing out. My heart rate's going really, really, really fast. I feel very hot, so I call 911 again. This time they take me to the same ER room. This time they inject me, or not inject me, but they do an EKG. They say your heart is really fast, but it's fine. After a 4 or 5 hour stay at that hospital. So after staying at the hospital for 4 or 5 hours, they determined that I was not having cardiac issues after cardiac enzyme test, echo, and chest x-rays. And also, they did a head x-ray. So the third day, I have a worse panic attack while mowing the lawn. I have a panic attack. And this one was an extremely violent panic attack. I could not. I was having shortness of breath. I was having double vision. It's just weird, like a flushing sensation. Very bad flushing. It was like taking a lot of Nican. And I called 911 again. This time the ambulance driver says, there's something wrong with you. You're going to keep calling here. There must be something physically or mentally wrong with you. I told him, what do you mean? Well, it looks like you're having panic attacks. What are panic attacks? There we go with the drama of the panic attacks. And from there, it just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So they took me to, I begged them to take me to a different hospital, but they didn't do it. So they took me to the same hospital. This is going on, just continuous. So we arrive at the hospital. They take a needle, and the doctor says, I'm going to order you a special medication. I didn't know what that meant at the time. I'm going to order you a special medication. I asked him, what is it called? He said it's called Ativan. I said, okay, well, let's try that. What is it? He said it's going to help you calm down with your rapid heart rate. I said, how is that going to do it if you tried beta blockers on me with little success? Trust me, it's going to help you calm down. So they injected into me. I am having a very rapid heart rate, very, very rapid heart rate, very medium to high blood pressure, sweating up a storm, I'm scared, I'm shaking, and all of a sudden, a bomb hit me, a calmness bomb. I call it the calm bomb. And I just was like this, because it was the first time I took Ativan, so it hits you really hard. And you're like, oh yeah, oh fuck. And then I wake up. I'm very drowsy, but I'm like, doctor, what did you do to me? It feels like I'm in heaven. What happened to the panic attack? It just disappears. So he said to me, do you really want to know what happened? Do you know what it is? It's a benzodiazepine. I remember this one very clearly. It's a benzodiazepine that works on your brain to calm your adrenaline rush, which you technically have. It's called an adrenaline rush. It's a fight or flight response. Right now, the medication is going through your bloodstream, and it's going straight to your brain and telling your brain to calm down. It's telling your brain to stop overproducing adrenaline temporarily. Very temporarily, but temporarily, period. So eventually, I was so calm, but tired, really tired. It was 1 milligram injection through a needle, copy in the thumb right here, and you go, you son of a bitch. But then all of a sudden you're all like, so anyways, okay. Prescribed to me a small dose of 5 Ativan for anxiety. So the next day, I don't have a panic attack. The next day I do, because I think it's like 48 hours. And I'm telling you, those Ativan injections last like 48 hours. You take one pill and you don't need it for a couple days. Because it's through the bloodstream, it's direct injection. You know, it's not like fillers and stuff they have in generic or Ativan. Fillers, they got fillers. So they got fillers, and certain chemicals are not the same as direct Ativan. And the chemical molecules that are within the liquid form of Ativan, which is so much stronger. You only need one. If you're taking 2 milligrams, you take a 1 milligram injection, you're definitely gonna notice it. hours and hours and hours and hours. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, so I've been talking for about 15 minutes now. Okay, so I'm taking Ativan. Eventually, I'm starting to get a build up to immune system. So I'm like, oh no, I have a therapy. So I call 911. Take the Ativan. Does nothing for me. Doctor immediately does an EKG, stress test, echo because he noticed palpitations. I started having arrhythmias. It's little arrhythmias, not like arrhythmias that go nothing like that. Not like fluttering or anything. Just a few skips here and there. So he noticed that on the EKG strip. So he ordered an echocardiogram. Echocardiogram is completely normal. This was all within 2010, 9 and 2010. Normal. Everything is normal. Stress test, echocardiogram test, dye injection test, normal, normal, normal. So I'm wondering, why am I getting these weird heart skips? So I look it up. It could be low potassium, it could be low calcium, it could be low sodium, it could be imbalances, it could be thyroid. Thyroid. I said, okay, do a thyroid test on me. Bam, hypothyroidism. I'm like, how the hell did I get hypothyroidism? Had hypothyroidism, very high TSH levels on the high side. It means I have hypothyroidism. Okay, so I have hypothyroidism, and they tested it with 2 blood tests, confirmed it was really high. My heart rate was in the 40s when laying down. Sometimes it was sometimes dropping into the 30s, into the actual 30s. It was scary, but never stopped, just slow. But I was still able to do things even with a slow heart rate. I just couldn't run because I would get chest pains. So eventually I ended up developing ulcers within my esophagus because of, I don't know if it was stress or some kind of bug, but I found out to be a very popular bacterial infection thing within the stomach and esophagus that causes acid reflux. I got rid of that really fast by taking a special test